You are not being rejected. You are being kept. And that difference is exactly why it is so hard to leave. When an avoidant partner keeps you close, but you are not chosen, your brain does not register it as a clean loss. It registers it as an unsolved problem. You get moments that feel like love, and then you get distance that feels like disappearance. And you spend your days trying to earn the next moment. In this episode, I'm going to show you the hidden structure behind this pattern, why it hooks anxious attachment so deeply, and the exact moves that stop you from being kept in the orbit without being held in the life. We are going to separate affection from commitment, access from partnership, and chemistry from capacity, so you stop confusing contact with being chosen. If this kind of clarity helps your nervous system settle, subscribe. PsychBond is a daily decoder for psychology, relationships, and avoidant and anxious attachment patterns, so you stop guessing. Now, let us name the pattern clearly. They keep you close enough to regulate themselves, but not close enough to build with you. They text just enough to keep the door open. They see you just enough to feel connected. They flirt just enough to keep your hope alive. But when you move toward real partnership, real clarity, real consistency, you feel the shift. They slow down. They get busy. They get vague. They start talking like the relationship is a pressure, not a privilege. And you end up in a position that feels humiliating because you are doing relationship behavior with someone who will not say relationship words. You are emotionally loyal to someone who will not be structurally loyal to you. And because they are not cruel all the time, because they can be tender, because they can be present, because they can want you on certain days, you keep thinking the solution is one more conversation, one more night, one more act of understanding. But the truth is not that you have not explained it well enough. The truth is that you are negotiating with someone who benefits from the current arrangement. In the beginning, this often looks romantic. The intensity feels rare. The chemistry feels specific. The way they look at you feels like recognition. They might even say things that sound like a future. They might talk about how different you are. They might call you their person in private. They might open up in moments and make you feel like you have reached a part of them nobody else gets. And then the pattern starts. Plans get delayed. Calls get shorter. You start feeling like you are auditioning for basic access. You begin to monitor your own tone. You become careful with your needs. You start editing your joy so you do not scare them. And you tell yourself you are being mature, when really you are shrinking. You are not asking for too much. You are asking for the wrong thing from the wrong capacity. Let us do the structure versus the story, because this is where anxious attachment gets trapped. The story says, they keep coming back, so it must mean something. The story says, they do not want to lose me, so they must care. The story says, when it is good, it is so good, so we are close. The story says, they are scared, so if I am patient, they will choose me. The structure says something else. The structure says, you are being given connection without responsibility. The structure says, they are receiving emotional benefits while avoiding relational obligations. The structure says, they can access you without building a life with you. And the structure also says, if you stay available under these terms, you teach them that they can have you without choosing you. That is not a moral judgment. It is a learning system. Humans repeat what works. If the current setup gives them comfort, validation, intimacy, sex, companionship, and the feeling of not being alone, while also protecting them from the vulnerability of full partnership, they will keep the setup. They might even believe they are doing their best. They might even feel sincere. But sincerity is not the same as capacity, and being liked is not the same as being chosen. Now let us get brutally clear about what keep you close but not chosen actually looks like. Because many people miss it while it is happening. They show up when it is on their terms. They initiate when they want, not when you need. They come closer after you pull back, not after you ask for more. They become affectionate when they feel you slipping. Then they retreat again once you settle. They can talk for hours about their day, their stress, their inner world, but when you bring up the relationship, they go blank or defensive. They might say they hate labels, but the real issue is that labels create expectations, and expectations create accountability. They might say they are not ready, but they are ready for everything that benefits them. They are ready for your attention. They are ready for your body. They are ready for your emotional labor. They are ready for your loyalty. They are ready for you to be patient. But they are not ready for you to have a place. And your nervous system feels that instability as danger, even if your mind keeps calling it love. This is why you can be with someone who is technically in your life and still feel lonely. Because you are not lonely for contact. You are lonely for safety. You are lonely for being held in a clear structure where you do not have to guess. Now I want to explain the keep you close mechanism in a way that makes it impossible to unsee. Many avoidant patterns are not about not wanting love. They are about wanting love without the parts that activate vulnerability. And the most activating parts are dependence, accountability, and long-term merging. So what do they do instead? They build a relationship shape that gives intimacy in bursts and distance in between, so they can feel close without feeling trapped. They keep you close enough to soothe the part of them that fears abandonment, but they keep you unchosen enough to soothe the part of them that fears engulfment. That is why the pattern often feels like push-pull. You feel wanted, then you feel shut out. You feel special, then you feel optional. And because the closeness is real, because they do feel something, you struggle to accept that the lack of choice is also real. But choice is behavior. Choice is structure. Choice is consistency. Choice is what they protect, not what they say. Now, let us talk about what this does to an anxious nervous system. When you are anxious, your brain is not addicted to pain. It is addicted to relief. The pattern keeps your system in a loop of threat and reward. Threat is when they go quiet, go distant, go vague, cancel plans, respond late, pull away after intimacy, treat closeness like a mistake. Reward is when they return, soften, compliment you, apologize, show up, say they miss you, make you feel safe again. Each cycle trains your brain to work harder for the reward. This is why you can feel obsessed with someone who is inconsistent and calmer with someone who is consistent, even if the consistent person is actually better for you. Your body is not measuring love. It is measuring contrast. And the bigger the contrast between disappearance and return, the more powerful the relief feels, and the more your brain calls it love. That is the trap. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but if they keep coming back, does that not mean I matter? You do matter. You matter enough to keep. You just do not matter enough to choose. And that is the part you must stop negotiating with. Because keeping is about their comfort. Choosing is about your place, and your place cannot be built on borrowed moments. Let us run a realistic case simulation so you can hear it in real-life language. Imagine you are dating someone. It starts intense. They text you all day. They plan a weekend. They are affectionate. They tell you they have never felt this with someone. After a month or two, you ask, "What are we doing?" They smile. They pull you in. They say, "I like you a lot. I just do not want to rush." You accept it. You do not want to be the needy person. You keep going. Then you notice you are not meeting friends. You are not making plans in advance. You are not being invited into their life. They keep you in a bubble. When you ask for more, they say, "You are pressuring me." When you pull back, they suddenly send a sweet message. They ask to see you. They become warm. You feel relief. You go back. Then the same gap happens again. Months pass. You start feeling crazy. You start searching for the right words. You start asking friends for advice. You start watching their social media. You start reading meaning into response times. And you start doing something that hurts your self-respect. You start treating basic decency like proof of love. You celebrate crumbs because you have been starved. This is not because you are weak. This is because the system is designed to keep you in motion. And the only way out is to stop accepting closeness without choice. Now let us do something that will sting, but will set you free. If someone wanted to choose you, you would not have to convince them that choosing you is reasonable. You would not have to argue for basic clarity. You would not have to shrink your needs to keep them calm. You would not have to be the flexible one all the time. You would not have to learn the art of asking without sounding like you are asking. And you would not feel like you are competing with their fear. You are not failing to earn love. You are encountering a capacity limit. So the question is not, how do I make them choose me? The question is, what do I do when someone keeps me close but will not choose me? And the answer is, you shift from story to structure. You stop negotiating feelings and you start requiring behavior. You stop asking for promises and you start watching for patterns. You stop taking returns as progress and you start measuring consistency. Here is the first clarity. Closeness is not commitment. Chemistry is not character. And access is not investment. When someone keeps you close, they can still be attached to you. They can still miss you. They can still be jealous. They can still want you sexually. They can still think about you. None of that equals choosing. Choosing is the act of placing you in their life in a way that costs them something. It costs them comfort. It costs them options. It costs them avoidance. It costs them hiding. It costs them ambiguity. If nothing changes, you are not being chosen. You are being visited. So let us talk about the common tricks your brain will use to keep you in it. Trick 1. I just need to communicate better. No. Clear communication is important, but clarity does not create capacity. If you have said what you need in simple words, and the response is vagueness, delay, defensiveness, or temporary improvement followed by the same pattern, the problem is not the sentence. Trick 2. They are traumatized, so I have to be patient. Trauma is real, but trauma does not give someone the right to consume you without committing to repair. Patience is not a plan. Trick 3. They are different with me. They might be. Many avoidant people are soft with one person and still avoidant in structure. Do not confuse tenderness with readiness. Trick 4. If I leave, they will realize. Maybe. But leaving to trigger realization is still bargaining. Leaving for self-respect is freedom. The moment you leave as a tactic, you are still attached to an outcome. The moment you leave as alignment, you are done. Now, let us get very specific about what you should do in the next 7 days if you are in this pattern right now. Step 1 is not to have a dramatic talk. Step 1 is to get your own data. You need to stop arguing with yourself and start observing. Ask yourself these questions. Do they make plans in advance or only last minute? Do they introduce you to their world or keep you separate? Do they repair after conflict or disappear? Do they follow through or explain? When you express a need, do they get curious or defensive? When you set a boundary, do they respect it or punish you with distance? This is the capacity test. You are not testing their love. You are testing their ability to do partnership. And partnership is a skill. It is not a feeling. Step 2 is to set one clear requirement in behavior, not in emotion. Not, I need you to care more. Not, I need you to miss me. Not, I need you to feel ready. Behavior. Something like, I want a consistent schedule to see each other. Or, I want us to be exclusive. Or, I want clarity that we are building toward a relationship. Then, you watch. A person with capacity might feel nervous, but they will move toward clarity. They will ask questions. They will propose solutions. A person without capacity will do one of 3 things. They will delay, they will flip it on you, or they will give you a temporary surge of affection to calm you without changing the structure. That surge is not progress. It is sedation. Step 3 is the hardest. You have to follow through. The anxious trap is making a requirement, watching them fail it, and then explaining it again. You teach them that your needs are negotiable. You teach them that your boundaries are speeches, not gates. A boundary without follow-through is an invitation to keep you close without choosing you. So you need a clean line. If we are not moving toward this, I cannot continue in this shape. And then you act. Not as punishment, as alignment. Now I want to address the part that hurts the most. Why do they keep you close if they do not want to choose you? Sometimes it is selfishness. Sometimes it is fear. Sometimes it is indecision. Sometimes it is that they like the benefits but do not want the responsibility. Sometimes it is that they want you, but they want freedom more. Sometimes it is that you are their favorite option, but they still want options. Sometimes it is that they are emotionally bonded, but their capacity for real partnership is low. In all these cases, the result for you is the same. You are stuck in a holding pattern that costs you your peace. And the price of being kept is your self-respect. Because the longer you stay, the more you train your nervous system to accept being optional. The more you normalize anxiety as romance. The more you lose connection to your own standards. And then, even if they come back later, you come back smaller. That is not the love story you want. So let us talk about the difference between an avoidant person who is genuinely growing and an avoidant person who is simply keeping you close. Growth looks like increasing consistency over time, not intensity, consistency. Growth looks like repair. They come back and they name what happened. They take responsibility. They offer a plan. Growth looks like integrating you into their real life, not keeping you as a secret soft place. Growth looks like making a decision that closes other doors. Growth looks like tolerating discomfort for the sake of building. Keeping you close looks like emotional spikes and long gaps. It looks like apologies without changes. It looks like promises that reset every time you are about to leave. It looks like intimacy that is followed by withdrawal. It looks like a relationship that never becomes more real, only more confusing. Now I want to give you a simple rule that will save you years. If the relationship requires you to betray yourself to keep it, it is not a relationship. It is a coping strategy. You are coping with uncertainty by working harder. They are coping with intimacy by keeping it undefined. And both of you call it love because love is the closest word you have. But love that harms your nervous system without repair is not a safe love. Now let us talk about what to say when you do set the requirement, because people always ask for the exact words. Here is the calm, firm, precise version. I like you. I enjoy being with you, but I am not available for something that keeps me close without clarity. I am looking for a relationship that is chosen and consistent. If you want that with me, I am open. If you do not, I respect it, and I will step back. That is it. No long debate, no persuasion, no listing their good qualities, no explaining your trauma, no begging, just structure. Then you watch what happens next. If they say they do not know, that is a no for now. If they say they need time, you can offer a specific short window if you truly want to, but do not wait indefinitely. If they say you are too much, that is information. If they get angry, that is information. If they disappear, that is information. And if they choose you, you will see it in behavior quickly. Not perfection, but movement. Not speeches, but consistency. Now let us address the fear that keeps you stuck. The fear is, if I demand being chosen, I will lose them. Let me tell you something gently. You do not actually have them. You have access. And access can be taken away any day because it is not protected by commitment. The second fear is, what if they choose someone else? That is already possible right now. That is what ambiguity protects. Now I want to go deeper on something most people do not see. When you stay in keep you close but not chosen, you begin to confuse emotional labor with intimacy. You think the deep talks are intimacy. You think helping them through stress is intimacy. You think being their safe place is intimacy. But intimacy without mutual structure becomes caretaking. And caretaking is not connection. It is a role. When you are in a role, you are not chosen as a partner. You are used as a regulator. So ask yourself, do they come to you for comfort and then disappear when you need comfort? Do they open up to you but avoid building with you? Do they want you in private but keep you out of public? Do they enjoy the benefits of your devotion but resist the obligations of devotion? This is the emotional convenience relationship. It feels close. It is not secure. Now, For the avoidant listener who is hearing themselves in this, here is the truth. Keeping someone close without choosing them is not neutral. It is not harmless. It hurts them. It erodes their trust in themselves. It trains them to accept less. It makes them feel crazy. If you care about them, you either step into clarity or you let them go cleanly. Because ambiguity is a slow injury. If you do not have the capacity right now, that is okay. But you have to be honest enough to not keep someone in the doorway. Now, let us talk about the one moment where this pattern often spikes. After closeness. After a deep weekend. After sex. After a vulnerable conversation. After they say something sweet. The next day, they get distant. This is avoidant deactivation. Their system interprets intimacy as risk. The anxious system interprets distance as danger. So both systems activate. The anxious partner moves closer. The avoidant partner moves away. And then the loop begins. Here is the repair move. The anxious person must stop chasing the gap and start naming the standard. The avoidant person must stop using distance as regulation and start using communication. But you cannot do both jobs. You can invite repair. You cannot manufacture it. So if you notice the after-closeness withdrawal, you do not do the spiral. You do not send 10 messages. You do not try to fix the mood. You send one calm line that anchors structure. Something like, I loved being with you. I am looking for consistency after closeness, not distance. Let me know when you can talk. Then you step back. If they respond with repair, good. If they respond with silence, you have your answer. Now, I want to give you the truth that will make you feel stronger immediately. Being chosen is not something you earn by being easier. It is something you allow by having standards. People choose what they respect. People invest in what has structure. When you make yourself endlessly available, you remove the pressure to choose. When you have a clear line, you create a moment of reality. Either they step into it, or they do not. And if they do not, you have saved yourself months of self-betrayal. Now, let us talk about what happens when you finally step back. Often, the avoidant person will surge. They will text more. They will call. They will say they miss you. They will suddenly be affectionate. This is where many anxious people get pulled back in. You think, it worked. But here is the key question. Is the surge coming with a structural change? Are they offering exclusivity? Are they offering a consistent plan? Are they introducing you to their life? Are they naming the relationship? Are they making a concrete decision? If not, the surge is not a choice. It is a rescue. They are rescuing access, not building partnership. And if you accept the rescue without structure, you go back into the loop, just with more confusion. So your response must be calm and specific. I enjoy hearing from you. I am open to reconnecting in a committed way. What does that look like for you? Then you wait. Do not fill the silence. Do not negotiate with half answers. Let them show capacity. Now, the person listening who is thinking, but I love them. Love is not the issue. Love is common. Compatibility is rare. Capacity is rarer. You can love someone and still leave because the relationship shape is harming you. And when you leave, you are not saying they are bad. You are saying the structure is not safe. That is the adult move. Now, let us close with a recalibration that will change your dating life forever. Stop asking, do they like me? Start asking, do they have the capacity to choose me? Stop asking, why are they doing this? Start asking, what does this pattern cost me? Stop asking, how do I become the exception? Start asking, what standard do I want to live under? Because the goal is not to be kept. The goal is to be chosen, consistently, clearly, and without having to audition for peace. If you are in a keep you close situation right now, here is your next right step. Choose yourself the way you wish they would choose you. Put structure where there has been ambiguity. Put standards where there has been hope. Put follow-through where there has been talking. And if they step into that with you, you will feel the difference immediately. If they do not, you will grieve, but your nervous system will start to heal. Because the most painful love is the love you have to beg to be real. Welcome to PsychBond. You're safe here.